Good afternoon and welcome back to Mount Rainier National Park. This is the Burroughs Mountain Trail out of the Sunrise Visitor Center. It's 4:30 in the afternoon and I'm on my way to Skyscraper Peak to hopefully catch a good sunset. Wow, there's a nice herd of goats over there. Pretty big herd, probably the biggest I've seen here. I'm just north of the five-way trail junction on the Sourdough Ridge Trail that takes you out of Sunrise like you're going out to Burroughs Mountain. So I'm about 1.5 miles in. And I'm on my way to Skyscraper Pass. And Skyscraper Pass is the highest point on the Wonderland Trail. It's 7,100 feet. And my goal was Skyscraper Peak, and that's probably about another 100 feet. I gotta say, it's a little bit of Russian roulette today, I think. The forecasted weather was for change, and so there's probably 3 outcomes. One, it's a complete whiteout and a failure and no images to be had. 2, the light kind of just fades to black and really also no images to be had, or it could be epic. There's a lot more atmosphere today. I'm really happy with that. So I thought it was worth the chance with the clouds, hoping that I get a break and I can find a composition from up on Skyscraper Peak. So this valley behind me here is Berkeley Park, and you really can't see the park from here, but it's a beautiful alpine valley that runs down. Actually, the Northern Loop Trail runs down through Berkeley Park, and it's a great place to go. Beautiful meadows, and it takes you down into a valley with the pine trees, and there's a small creek that runs through it. Beautiful place. But yeah, Berkeley Park just over the ridge there. But right now, I need to head over to Skyscraper Pass. Well, this is Skyscraper Pass, and I thought it was 7,100 feet when I looked at the map, but I think it's a few hundred feet lower. At least my altimeter says it's a few hundred feet lower. The weather, still a concern, but not as big of concern as it was. It's just a gorgeous view from up here, although the clouds are still coming in and out. Got Mount Rainier here. Don't know if you can see it on this camera. And ridge line here of the Skyscraper Ridge. Actually, Skyscraper Peak is back here obscured by clouds right now. So anyway, here at Skyscraper Pass. And so what I'm going to do now is scout around. Sunset tonight is at 8:12 and it's just now 6 o'clock. So I've got plenty of time to check out the area. But from here on, I'm going to be looking for compositions and just watching the weather. So this is obviously the summit of Skyscraper Mountain, or Skyscraper Peak. 7,000 and some odd feet. When I looked at the trail description, the trail route was for Skyscraper Pass, and the altitude was like 7,000 some odd feet. Now I know this, the 7,000 some odd feet is the altitude or the elevation of the peak, not the pass. Schoolboy error, I shan't make that again. But yeah, this is the summit, up here by myself. A pretty craggy, rocky summit you can see down below. So orientation wise, this is looking to the southeast and this is looking to the northwest. And so the ridges on this side are going to catch, if there's any sunlight or any sunset light, it's going to be on this side. And so when I'm scouting for compositions, I'm looking for parts of the ridges that are facing the northwest, because that's going to catch any sunset light. So this side is kind of not possible because it's going to be in shadow. And I don't really see any composition from here at the summit, although there were a few opportunities further back on the trail just below the summit. So I'm going to check around here, maybe go back to that area and see what that looks like. It's pretty socked in right now, as you can see, but the clouds are coming and going. So I think this photo shoot is going to be a photo shoot of opportunity, looking for a break in the atmosphere rather than waiting on the perfect light. But I need to find a composition first, so that's what I'm going to do now. Got some promising lines and layers here, but it's really hard to gauge the composition just because of the clouds. There's still a lot of atmosphere and a lot of clouds moving into the scene, so I'm still hopeful for a break. As I was hiking up here, the clouds did come and go, and there are some blue patches in the sky, so I'm hopeful that we'll get a break here and I can gauge the composition. The foreground looks good, but I need to see how it looks flowing through the scene and see how the layers line up. So just waiting and fingers crossed. Well, still haven't got a good view of the composition, but I did go ahead and drop in a graduated filter. This is a 3-stop soft edge ND grad, and even for those of you that argue against grad filters, my rationale for dropping a filter in here is I even thought about bracketing, but because the atmosphere is changing so quickly, I wouldn't have time to bracket the shot before the atmosphere changed. And so when the scene opens up, I wanted to be able to shoot it. And so using an ND grad filter allows me to manage that high dynamic range without having to bracket my exposure. So got the 3-stop soft edge ND grad in, and there was a break earlier, but it wasn't quite enough to open up the scene, but still hopeful and still waiting. Well, don't think there's going to be any image today, but such is landscape photography. I'm right off the trail here, but it's still kind of craggy. Yeah, on the way in, looked pretty promising. There was quite a bit of breaks in the clouds. Saw a lot of blue sky, and I was hoping that things were changing for the better, and I'd get some atmosphere, but I'd also have the opportunity to just not be completely socked in and have a composition. So yeah, since I've been here 45 minutes, almost an hour, it's been really socked in. My composition was using this northwest facing ridge, and I was hoping for some sunset light on this ridge, and I thought it would light up and give a really nice composition using the ridge as a frame. But I guess it's not to be today, but such is landscape photography, you know. Since leaving the 5-way trail junction just outside of Sunrise, which is a 1.5 miles in, I've seen probably 4 people. And since I left the Wonderland Trail and came up here to the summit of Skyscraper Peak, I haven't seen a soul. I'm the only one here. But from the parking lot to the 5-way trail junction, I probably saw 50 people. So, you know, part of coming out and experiencing nature is the solitude and the oneness you get with nature. And it's really an emotional experience. This camera actually, or this camera, or that camera, is the reason I'm out here today. And so I can't fault not getting an image as a total failure. So anyway, yeah, no image to show you today. Well, it is late, about 35 minutes past sunset. I'm walking up the Sourdough Ridge Trail, about 1/3 of a mile from the parking lot, so I'm almost all the way out. And Mount Rainier was showing here in the background. And earlier there was some low-hanging fog that was moving through in the midground. Gave me an opportunity to break out the 6-stop ND filter. With an exposure of 30 seconds, it gave me some amazing texture and movement of the clouds in the midground. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll see how it looks when I get home. There was some, there was still some sunset color in the sky. I wasn't able to film it because I was in a bit of a hurry as the color was fading fast. But yeah, today not a total loss. At least I did come away with one picture. And let me know what you think. And now I'm on my way to the car, and I will see you in the next video.